Hi, welcome to Crafty Little Things. I'm Andrea, and today I'm going to show you how to do a ribbed granny square. And not only am I going to show you how to do the ribbed granny square, but then I'm going to turn the ribbed granny square into a hat. Now this is using a pattern from Big and Little Crochet. I did know how to do the ribbed granny square before I saw the pattern, because granny squares tend to be, you know, they're granny squares. They're not anyone's particular pattern. People make different colours and different variations, but a ribbed granny square is a ribbed granny square. So I'm going to show you how to do the ribbed granny square, and then I'm going to use the Big and Little Crochet pattern to turn it into a hat. Okay. Now I'm using this gorgeous Mariner Smooth Touch, which is cotton look double knit. It's not cotton, it's DK. It's a DK, and I think it's just acrylic. Yeah, it's just acrylic. But it is so lovely. It is just like, it's like a cotton. And the shade is 806. And I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's called actually online, but it's, you'll see it. As soon as you see it, you'll spot it. It's like a lovely olivey green. And for this, you'll need a 4mm hook. You'll need a 3.5mm hook when we're doing the hat, but you need a 4mm hook for this, some yarn scissors and some yarn embroidery needles. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm using a 4mm hook. I'll put up here what that is in US terms, and I'm using a Mariner Soft Touch Cotton Look DK, which I'll also link, but you can use any DK or you can use a craft cotton. So first of all, I'm just going to make my slip knot. Now you can do this however you like. I lay the yarn across my two fingers, I wrap it around, cross it as I go, secure it with my third finger, put my hook underneath, pull through on the second strand, twist it as I go, and then pull it all off my fingers, and I pull on my working yarn, which is the yarn attached to my ball of wool, and then on here I have my loop, and here I have my straggler. This is my straggler. Okay, so that's my loop on my hook. Now I'm going to zoom in really close for the first few stitches, okay, just so that beginners can see. Right. So that's the loop on our hook. This is our working yarn. I'm holding it here, pop my hook underneath, grab some yarn and pull it through. That's a chain, and I'm going to do 6 chains. So that's 2, 3, 4. Now if you need to move your hand up to hold your work closer, that's okay. 5 and 6 chains. Okay. Now you can see the chain by sort of the V shape. You can see those V shapes. So you can count your 6 stitches, and what we want to do is take our hook and put it into this very first one. Okay. Pop it into there, grab some yarn, pull it through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook. Get hold of that little piece of work there and pull it through your loop on your hook. And that's a slip stitch. And what you've done now is you've made a circle or a ring to sew into. And that's what we're going to be doing, sewing into that hole there. I'm just going to take the straggler and put it round the back of my work. And what I'm going to do with my straggler is I'm going to hold it against these stitches, so that when I'm sewing, when I'm crocheting, I'm going over this straggler and sewing it in. Okay, so that'll save me a job later. So make sure that your loop on your hook is nice and tight, but not too tight that it won't slide up and down. And now what you want to do is chain 5. So yarn over, chain 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And what that does is, you can see when you're twisting your hook, just by turning your hook as you're pulling it through, you just stop it sliding off your hook. If you didn't twist your hook, you'd still be able to put it through, but it would it would fall off, and this would also snag on your stitch, so just helps you to go through more smoothly. Now what these 6 stitches, these 5 stitches are, the first 3 are going to act as a treble crochet, which is a UK term, a double crochet in the US, and the last 2 stitches are going to act as a space, and these are going to form your first corner. So what we want to do now is yarn over, and we want to make 3 treble crochets or double crochets in the US into this ring. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit because it's a little bit long at the minute for me to be able to get everything in the picture. So for a treble crochet in the UK, double in the US, we yarn over, pop your finger on there to hold that yarn so it doesn't go anywhere, put your hook into that centre circle, grab some yarn just like we do when we're doing a chain and pull it through, and now you have 3 hook loops on your hook. Okay, yarn over and pull through 2, turn your hook again, grab some more yarn and pull through 2, and that is your first treble crochet in the UK, double in the US. And I just want to repeat that, so wrap some yarn around your hook, that's what we call yarning over. Okay, pop your hook into that circle, make sure it goes into the circle, get some yarn on your hook and pull it through. So now you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops, yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops. So you've got 1 on your hook, and there's your second double crochet in the US or treble in the UK. And now we want to do another one. So exactly the same way. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now what we have are 3 double crochets in the US or 3 trebles in the UK, and then we have this, which is our first corner, and we'll show you how we make this look more like a treble crochet in a minute. So now we're on to our next corner, so we chain 2 for our corner, so just yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. Now on my Absolute Beginners series, it does show you all of this, and I do recommend that you just keep trying and trying and trying, and you just keep crocheting chains, you know, cast on, crochet chain, cast on, crochet chain, before you do anything else, okay? And then once you're comfortable with that, then you can start ready to crochet. So now we've got our corner, which is this chain 2 space. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put 3 more treble crochets into the ring. So yarn over, hook into the ring, pull through some yarn, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, yarn over, into the ring again, and make sure you're always going into that centre ring, pull through some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into that ring again, pull through some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 3 more that you've done. So now chain 2 to make your corner. So now we've got 1, 2, and this will be our third corner. So yarn over, and we want to do 3 more. Pull through some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're at the corner, so we chain 2. Whoops. Okay. Now, so we've got 2 corners here, 1 corner there that doesn't look quite like a corner yet. we've got another corner that we're just about to form here. Now this chain 3, the first of this chain 5, these 3 chains count as one of these stitches, so we only need to put 2 in to this now to finish off this side. So I'll hook in, pull up some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, hook in, pull up some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And now, so that we can join it, because we obviously want our piece to be a square, we count 3 stitches. So look at these V's, 1, 2, 3, put our hook into that 3rd stitch, grab some yarn and pull it through, and then pull it through the loop on our hook and pull it nice and tight. And now what we've got is a circle in the middle. We've got 4 corners, see those corners, the chain 2 spaces make our corners, and we've got 3 treble crochets or double crochets in the US on each side of our little square. Okay, so these are our corner spaces or our chain 2 spaces, and these are our stitches. And now we're going to do another chain 5, but before we do that we're going to get into this corner space to work. So we're going to pop our hook into the corner space, grab some yarn and pull it through. So we've got 2 loops on our hook, and then we're just going to pull that loop through that loop, which is a slip stitch. Okay, and now we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each row of this ridged granny square starts with a chain 5. And remember, the first 3 chains are equivalent to a treble crochet or a double crochet, and the last 2 are our corner space. So we yarn over and we put 2 trebles into the same corner space. So pull up a loop. I'll just do that again. So we yarn over, just get hold of it closer. We yarn over, put our hook into this chain 2 space, pull up a loop, so we've got 3 on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, into the space, grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so now we're making a corner space again. So from now on, all of our corner spaces will be 2 trebles, 2 chains and 2 trebles, or in the US, 2 doubles, 2 chains and 2 doubles. Now what we're going to do is something a little bit different. As I said, these V shapes are the stitches. So this is stitch 1, stitch 2, stitch 3, and these are the posts of those stitches. So if you see, that is the post of the stitch. Alright, now what we're going to do this time is to make the ridging. We're going to yarn over, hold the yarn on your hook, put your hook behind that stitch, okay, then grab your yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Exactly the same as you do for a treble crochet. The only difference is, instead of going into the ring, we're going behind the post. Okay, now for the next stitch we want to go into the top of the stitch. So yarn over, put your hook under those 2 pieces of the stitch, pull your yarn through, so you've got 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Exactly the same, but this time instead of doing it into a space, we've done it into a stitch. And that is the top of this stitch in the middle. So now that one's been sewn into on the top, and now we want to sew around this one like we did the first one. So yarn over, put your hook behind the stitch, behind the post, grab some yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. exactly the same as we did for the first stitch. And now we're into the corner, so we yarn over and we put 2 trebles or doubles into this corner. So pull through 2, yarn over, that wasn't right. Sorry. Yarn over into the corner space, grab some yarn and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we'll do another one in the same space, yarn over, into the chain space, pull up a loop, so you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The yarn split a little bit there. Now chain 2 because we're in our corner space and we're making our next corner. Yarn over into the same space, do another 2 trebles or doubles in the US. I'm not quite in the right place there. It's a little bit tricky because I'm actually watching myself on the camera. I don't normally do it like this. And I got stuck in a stitch there. Pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2. So I've made my new corner there. Okay, that's all in that corner space. 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles. Now I'm on to my 3 stitches again. So I'm going to go behind the stitch again. So I'm going to yarn over, put my hook behind the stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now obviously I want ridges. If I was to do the same in the next stitch, I wouldn't get the ridges. So the next stitch, I sew into the stitch at the top. I go into the top of that stitch under those 2 pieces, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I want a ridge on the next stitch, so I yarn over, I go under behind that stitch, I pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I'm in the corner again. So I yarn over and I put 2 trebles in the corner, two chains and 2 trebles. Now what happens here is this is one side of my work, if you like. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches, okay, across there. Can you see? And then I've got the corner chains that take me round onto the next side. So every side should end up with 7 stitches, and every side should end up with 2, is it 2? Yeah. 2 ridges. You can't see them very clearly yet, but you'll be able to see them in a minute. So I'm back here, so I yarn over and I go under. So every time I come out of a corner, I go behind, I stitch around a post, and my last stitch of every round I stitch around a post, and that'll be the same for every round we do. So pull through a loop, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over. This time I'm going into the stitch because I want to alternate. This is the stitch here, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now this is my last of the 3 stitches, so I want to go around it, put my hook behind it, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I'm back at my corner again. So I do 2 trebles into my corner, 2 doubles in the US. Got a little bit tangled there. I'm not going to restart the video every time I make a mistake because that would be ridiculous. We'd just never get it done. It's much better that you see that I make mistakes as well. And then chain 2 for our new corner, yarn over and 2 into that same corner. Don't forget that you always need the 2 sets of stitches divided by some chains in the corner, okay, and then you won't go wrong. Now we're going to work down this side, and then I'm just going to get to the end here, and then we'll do our next round. So yarn over, behind the stitch, and work that treble crochet around that post, and over and pull through 2. And now we're going to yarn over and we're going to put it in the top of this stitch, which is here. Over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to yarn over and we're going to put it around this last stitch. So behind the post, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're in our final corner to end the round. So you can see here we've got 2 trebles, we've got and a chain 5. So these 2 stitches act as our chain 2 for the corner, and then these 3 act as a treble. So yarn over, we just need 1 more. Go into that corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then look at our V shapes. 1, 2, 3, push your hook into that 3rd one, grab some yarn, pull it through and pull it through the loop on your hook, and there you have completed your next round. Now you can see that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches across each side, separated by 2 chains at each corner. You have 4 corners, you have a circle in the centre, and you can start to see that ridging happening. Now we just do exactly the same again. I'm going to zoom out just slightly. So we slip stitch into the centre, into the corner. So put your hook in, pull your yarn through and pull it through the loop on your hook. And then chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, exactly the same as before. Yarn over into the corner space and do 2 treble crochets, double crochets in US terms. And now we're going to do exactly the same as we did in the last round, only we've got more stitches. You'll know where your ridges need to go because they'll go in the same place that your ridges have already gone. Okay. Your first and last stitch are always around the post, and then you alternate in between. So yarn over, go behind the post, grab some yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The next stitch is here, yarn over into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The next stitch is here. We've already worked around this one. So yarn over, get behind the stitch, pull up some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Our next stitch is this one. Be really careful. Yarn over, put your hook into that stitch, pull up loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Our next one, we go round it, that's this one. And our next one, we go into it, which is this one. And the last one on the round, we go round it. So go round the post, pull up loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So now we've got 4 ridges and 4 stitches sitting back. And now we're at the corner, so we yarn over and we put 2 trebles into that corner, 2 doubles if you're in the US. And now we've completed that side of our square. If we ignore our corner space, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stitches across. So each time we add a new row, we're increasing our stitches by 4, and we're increasing our raised stitches or cable stitches by 2. Okay, so now we want to chain 2 for the corner, and then we want to put another 2 trebles into the same corner space to start our next side of the square. Everything has to be symmetrical. And usually if you find that your work's got out of shape, you'll usually find that you've missed a set off the corner. So always remind yourself that you need 2 sets of stitches in the chain space. Yarn over, and now we're going to go behind this new one and crochet around it. Yarn over into the top of this one, yarn over behind this one. Like I said, they start to stand up as you start to stitch around them anyway, so it becomes more obvious where they are. Yarn over into that one. You do tend to find that the stitches where they're raising up, the next stitch to them can sink back a little bit, and sometimes you have to sort of just pull it apart to get it out from underneath your raised stitch. Round the post for another one. Remember, we're just alternating now, round the post and into the stitch for the next one, and round the post for the last one. Always end and start with round the post. Yarn over, 2 treble crochet or double in the US into the corner space, 2 chains and 2 more treble or double crochet in the US into the corner. And now we do exactly the same. Yarn over, work around that first stitch, oops, yarn over, work into the next stitch, yarn over, work around the next stitch, yarn over, work into the next stitch, yarn over, work around the next stitch, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, around the last stitch, and then 2 trebles into the corner space, chain 2 and 2 more into that corner space. Okay, and now we're on the last side. Yarn over, stitch around that stitch, do treble or double in US terms, oops, around that, into the next stitch, around the next stitch, you see they're starting to stand off further, into the next stitch. You can't really go wrong because you know you're going around the stitch that's already standing off, and so you know your next stitch is to go in. So if you think you've made a bit of a mistake, it just wouldn't be working out right and nothing would be sitting right. That's snagging on something. There we go. Right, so now we're at the final corner. So we already have again the 2 trebles here, the chain 2 and the chain 3. So we just pop 1 stitch, 1 treble into that corner space. Okay, and then we count up our V's, 1, 2, 3, pop our hook into that stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through. That's not the most, and then pull it through the loop on our hook, hook into the chain space, pull through a loop and pull it through the loop on our hook, and then we're back in position to do our next round. So I think I can safely say that that's it. We just carry on doing that all the way around again. So we end up with 6 ridges on at the end of the next set and 4 more stitches across. So at the moment we've got 1, 2 in the corner, a ridge, a ridge and then a down, a ridge and a down, a ridge and a down. So we call them ups and downs. 2 in the corner, an up, a down, an up, a down, an up, a down, an up, a down, an up and 2 in the corner. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So our next round will have 15 and we'll have 6 ridges. Okay, so I'll just start you off and then I'll join you at the end of this round. So we chain 5 at the beginning of every round. Whoops. And then we pop 2 treble crochets into that corner space. Double crochets if we're in the US. And then we yarn over and we do a double crochet around this post. So hook behind, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We do a double crochet into or treble crochet into this stitch. And we go behind this stitch. And then we go into this stitch. And we go behind this post or around this post. That's a bit crazy, there's a bit of a knot in my yarn. Then we go into the next, around the next, sorry, around the next, into the next, around the next, and each round you're going to have sort of 2 new stitches at each end. So into the next and around the last stitch, which is one of our new stitches. And then 2 trebles into the corner. So now, as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ridges, and we've got 15 stitches across that side. And then we just come down this side and do the same. So we chain 2 for our corner space, and then we pop in 2 trebles into the corner space. Okay. And then we go around the post, into the stitch, around the post, into the stitch, around the post. And you can clearly see now which stitches are standing up, so you know that's the ones you want to be sewing in around. And then I'm going to carry on until, I'm going to leave you to carry on until we get to this corner again. I'll join the corner with you and then I'll do the next one with you. I think we're on Are we on 15 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're on 15. So our next round will take it up to 19, and the next one will take it up to 23. And at that point, it should be big enough for you to work with, or you can just carry on making it bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm just going to take you until we've got a stitch count of 23. Okay, so I'll join you back at the end of here and we'll start the next row together. Right, so here we are nearly at the end then. We're just going to stitch into the top of that stitch and go around the post of the final stitch on that side, and then we just have to finish this side off. So we're going to do a treble into the corner space, double in US terms. We're going to count up the 3 stitches, pop our hook into the 3rd one, grab some yarn, pull it through. It's not coming through very smoothly, and then pull it through the loop on our hook, and then pop our hook into the corner space, pull some yarn through, and make a slip stitch to get us into that corner space again. And you can see it really starting to take shape now. It's such a lovely square, this. And then we're just going to start the next round. So we start the next round the same as every other round with 5 chains, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to get some yarn off. And then we put 2 trebles into the corner space, 1 and 2. And then we're going to go around this first post, into the next stitch, around the next post, which is really becoming easy to identify now, into the next stitch, around the post, into the stitch, round the post, into the stitch, round the post, pull some more yarn off, into the stitch, around the post, into the stitch. Remember I said they might start trying to hide themselves a bit as this gets lifted up more and more. Yarn over behind the post, into the stitch, and end the round the edge, go in behind the post. Okay, and now 2 into the corner to finish off that side. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ridge stitches, and we have in stitches altogether we have the 2 in the corner across and 8 ridges, and then we go down the other side. So we do our 2 for the corner, turn us around, and then we put our 2 trebles into the corner space, just like we have every other time, and then we always start by going around our first stitch, around the post of that first stitch, and then we go into the top of the next stitch, around the post of the next, and into the top of the next. Okay, around the post, of the next, and into the top of the next. What this granny square does is it gives you a really nice dense granny square with a bit of you know, something extra on it. Just makes it look a bit nicer, bit different. And you can either you know, make a whole blanket or whatever you want to make using these, or you could just intersperse them with normal granny squares, solid granny squares. As long as your stitch count is the same at the end, because obviously you need to sew them together. So if you're to make a solid granny square, you'd have to make sure it had that same number of stitches, and then round the post for the last stitch as always. And then we do our corner, 2 trebles, double in US terms, chain 2 to get around, and then put our 2 for the start of the next round into that same corner. Okay, and then we go around behind the first stitch into the second, behind, into, to the end. And I'll join you again when we get round to the end here. I need to zoom out a little bit more now, so I'm getting bigger. So pretty, isn't it? Look at it, it's lovely, lovely granny square. So we'll go round to the end, and then I'll start you off with one more, and that we'll leave it at that with the total stitches round of 23. Okay, but you can carry on as big as you want. You could have stopped already if you wanted, just kept nice little squares. I'll just tell you what that measures. At 19, it's measuring 4.5 inches square. So that's for 19 stitches, it's measuring 4.5 inches, which is 11.5 centimetres. Okay, so I'll tell you what it is at 23 as well. I think I can quickly probably tell you what it is at the 15 stitches. It's 3.5, so it's sort of growing an inch with each round. It's 3.5 at 15 stitches, which is 9 centimetres squared. So yeah, it's kind of grown an inch per round. So if you wanted to use that as a guide, you could do. So let's just go and get this finished off, and then I'll meet you at the end, and also our last corner together, and start off the next round, and then we'll finish it off there. Okay, so I went behind around the post and into the stitch. Okay, so I'll meet you round at the end. Okay, here we are in the last 2 stitches. I'm going to stitch into that stitch, and I'm going to stitch around this stitch. And then we're going to do just what we've done every other time. We're going to go into the corner with a treble or a double in US terms. We're going to count up these 1, 2, 3, pop our hook in, pull some yarn through, pull it through the loop on our hook, and then pop our hook in, pull some yarn through, pull it through the loop on our hook to get us back into that corner space. And now we have 20, do we have 19? No, we have 19 now. So we're going to do it one more time, okay? Like I said, that's 4.5 inches. Almost 4, well, it is, I suppose once it's blocked, if you're going to block it, it'd be 4.5. Yeah, and 11.5 centimetres. So we're just going to do one more. Okay, so we chain 5 as always, I mean, you must be getting used to it by now. 2 trebles, doubles in the US, into the same space, and then we always begin by crocheting around the first post. So around the first post and into the second stitch, around the third post and into the 4th stitch. My yarn is not pulled up. Around the next post and into the next stitch, around the next post and into the next stitch, around the next post and into the next stitch, around the next post and into the next stitch. You've fed up with me saying it yet? Around the next, into the next, around the next and into the next, around the next and into the next and around the last, always around the last and the first, and then 2 into the corner, chain 2 and start your next corner. And there we are. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ridges and 23 stitches. Okay, so 10 ridges and 23 stitches gives us 5 1/4 and 13 centimeters. Okay, so carry on and I'll meet you around at the end. And here we are at the end. The sun's come out as well, so that's quite nice. So I've just gone around that post of that stitch, so I'm just going to put my last treble, double in the US, into the corner, and then 1, 2, 3, I'm going to slip stitch into that corner stitch. And there we have it. Isn't it beautiful? It's a lovely, let me just pull back a little bit more. It's a really lush, thick square. Really is. Look gorgeous. Even if you just carried on and kept making it bigger and bigger to make a lovely big blanket. Now, what you can do with this, this is a ribbed granny square. What you can do with it is you can, you've got 96 stitches around the edges, I think. So you can leave it at this and you can just make more and more and more and patch them together. Or you can edge it off. You've got 90, you can stitch all around the edge in a single crochet or a treble crochet. What you can also do is you can turn this into a hat. Now I knew how to make these, but I'd never seen it used as the top of a hat before until I saw it in Big and Little Crochet. So I am going to make a video. I'm going to go on with this one and make this into the hat, but I am going to sort of stop it here as well. So it's going to be 2 separate tutorials. There's going to be the ribbed granny square, which is this one, and then next week I'm going to do the ribbed granny square hat. And so I'll carry on and follow the Big and Little Crochet pattern and make this into the hat. So I'm going to do that kind of now, but obviously I'm going to say goodbye now because this video is just to make the granny square. Okay, any questions you have, pop them below. Any problems you have with it, let me know. But yeah, it's great. And if you're really clever, you could also do this in 2 colours. So all your ribs are coming up in 1 colour, and you could do all sorts with it. You could do each row in a different colour, whatever you wanted. I quite like it as 1 colour, and I absolutely love it in this yarn. It's so soft yet thick, and I would definitely be tempted to just keep going. The other thing you could do is you could do your next one in different colours and sort of angle them off so they look kind of like triangles of colour when you stick them together. So instead of, you can sort of sew them together as diamonds rather than as squares. Anyway, whatever you want to do with it, that's fabulous. So thank you for watching, and like I said, if you've got any questions, do let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, take care, bye bye.